June 2020. Today sees the 11th consecutive day of protests against the killing of George Floyd in cities all over America and beyond. This address is for the people, the civil rights movement across America, and George Floyd. I am man enough to admit at this time that I am indeed not absolute in my philosophies of geo-world politics, religions, or world criminal justice. I both further and review my works with rigor, with a complete and total open mind. It is during my darkest moments that I prophesize freely. I am grateful for my pain. I embrace my pain with skill and with courage, and in doing so, I prophesize freely. One thing I am certain of is that the prison state is a microcosm of the society of that state. Everything I see and experience in prison is always reflective and representative of the wider society spectrum. After 26 years in the British criminal justice and penal system, I know my society well. What I see is a society in pain, a society in suffering, a society oppressed. I see millions suffering abuse, domestic abuse, addiction, depression, mental health, self-harm, suicide, discrimination and division. I see a society with no voice. Meek Mills knows his society well, knows the pain of America and its people. I applaud his endeavours with the penal reform movement in the United States of America. We know our societies well. We understand the pain. We know your pain. What I observe is a demoralised society, broken and fractured. I observe a society that has lost its way and is lacking in faith, demoralised, hurting. So it is what we do with our pain and how and where we channel that pain that will determine our futures and ultimately our destiny as a species. Do not think the oppressor knows of your pain. He only knows power, monetary riches, greed and land. But you are blessed. Your pain is where the treasure is. The killing of George Floyd has showcased the power imbalance of world criminal justice systems. World criminal justice systems which protect the rich and powerful while disproportionately punishing, demonising and criminalising the oppressed. The killing of George Floyd has also shined a light from the heavens upon the very real postmodern age geopolitical climate of human division, inequality and oppression amongst the 7.7 billion world populace. We are at this time heading dangerously close toward a 21st century new world order where inequality rules supreme. A 21st century new world order which may speedily manifest into a one world government in which population control will be a realistic and dangerous possibility. Prominent thinkers have spoken about a one world government. Einstein advocated the notion, proposing America, Russia, Britain and France to lead. I am sceptical for a unilateral one world government will surely be at this time the ultimate victory for the oppressor. I am more inclined to lean toward a one world movement where pure-hearted, pure-spirited unrecruited men and women, mass expedite self-made altruistic structures and mechanisms within world societies to the point where the necessary evil of elected world nation government services and institutions and policies are no longer required. Zuckerberg has displayed some promise. The oppressor has slaughtered, killed and ruled far into history. As a species, we have explored and populated the earth, from the tropics of Africa and Eurasia to Australia and New Guinea 50,000 years ago, to Europe, Siberia, North and South America 10,000 years ago. In the modern age, mankind explored the oceans. America has formulated a space force to protect both its national interests and to protect against any existential threats. Elon Musk now sends passenger rockets to space. Geography sets ground rules for the biological and cultural evolution of a species, as well as influencing and shaping modern political history. Land, power struggles and scapegoating fuel mass killing, human division and genocide amongst both the pre-modern and modern species. There were wars of the Greeks and Trojans, the Romans and the people of an African colony. Christian crusaders massacred the Muslims and Jews of Jerusalem in 1099. French Catholics massacred French Protestants in 1572. White Australians have slaughtered dark-skinned Tasmanians. The Soviet government killed 66 million of its own citizens between 1917 and 1959. Since the Second World War between 1950 and the 1990s alone, there have been near 20 world genocides. Bangladesh, 71, Cambodia in the late 70s. Both of these genocides claimed over 1 million lives. In 1994, 800,000 were slaughtered in Rwanda. Since 1998, divisional genocide warfare in the Democratic Republic of Congo has amassed a human death toll of 2.5 million. The threatening, killing and human division within our species and ancestors forms the makeup of our heritage, our biology and our DNA. Technology, advanced communications and power in numbers have driven mass human death tolls up into the tens and hundreds of millions in the modern era. The idea or notion that this course of human evolution, this cause and effect determinism, can and will be eliminated with the employment of an African-American police chief in a specific city is a grave misunderstanding. We exist in a world within a universe governed by the laws of cause and effect. Artificial intelligence is rapidly advancing cause and effect at a frightening pace amongst our species. Global digital media live feeds amass 5 million views within minutes. The killing of a black man offends and electrifies near an entire race across multiple continents within 60 minutes. One single tweet from a world leader or social media influencer reaches the individual consciousness of 70 million people in under a second. Language and culture divide us. Enjoy a practice with free will and complete freedom within a society. That same person can board a plane and travel for only a few hours and be killed for the same practice within a different society. World-domineering cultures and their respective superpower cultural practices are not born from a place of unity and in fact reinforce division. for they are instead born from a place of military and economic strength. World superpower cultures do not promote unity, altruism, or long-term human survival. They threaten it. The ultimate price to be paid for the war-mongering oppression, aggression, and human division amongst our species will undoubtedly be the Armageddon of our world. We are in a race against time. Therefore, mankind must aspire toward a one-world culture of altruism. Zuckerberg, Musk, Branson, Google, and Amazon must reevaluate and reassess their priorities and must engineer the technological mechanisms to promote and embody within our species a universal world language. A universal world language will be possible within one generation by expediting the bandwidth speed between digital interface and human brain merging. Yes, as Stephen Hawking prophesized, critical to the survival of mankind as a species is to colonize the planets and the moons. We applaud Musk and we will colonize the planets and the moons. We will colonize all 67 of Jupiter's moons. We will attain singularity and human intelligence will be 1,000, 10,000, 1 millionth of a pinhead. We will consume the matter within our universe and we shall, for the first time in 4 billion years, take complete control of our destiny as a species. But we must not miss the critical important condition in realizing this destiny, which is the need to reconnect with our voyage inward, to transcend the mental screen, the veil of matter, or the physical or material world in which we continue to exist in division. The only way possible to eliminate the human division that will inevitably become the Armageddon of our world is to manipulate, compromise, even eradicate cause and effect. The voyage inward leads to the eradication of cause and effect, to infinity, to the luminous spiritual kingdom where there is no division, no separation, no racism, no chaos, no war, no time, no space. The skillful manner in which our species can realize and take ownership of our destiny is to meet head-on singularity with a one-world universal culture of altruism and pureness, which can only be discovered within ourselves. We don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. We change the world by first changing ourselves. This is the responsibility of our time. This is the ultimate challenge of the 21st century Earth, world, human species. Its responsibility, the responsibility of our altruistic futures, is not the responsibility of the oppressor. The lifeblood of the oppressor is greed. This responsibility exists in the heart and in the inward oceans of this generation of the entire Earth's children. The killing of George Floyd has ignited the fire of a pain of an entire world of abandoned youth. You must skillfully channel your pain, and the key to your success are to be found with your collective interconnected voyage inward. It is a choice whether you decide to remain oppressed or whether you rise with graciousness, courage, and dignity. Those who are gracious and dignified in the face of injustice, inequality, and oppression shall shine like the noonday sun eternal. So display your skill by standing in solidarity, in peace, in forgiveness with the police officers responsible for the killing of George Floyd. Stand in solidarity, in peace, and in forgiveness with the families and with the children and with the friends of the police officers responsible for the killing of George Floyd while the wheels of justice turn. For the police officers are not your oppressor. Your oppressors are the rulers of a people who slaughter in the name of power, greed, land, and evil. Be skillful. You must channel your pain inward and into your works, your education, the arts, the sciences. You must do so with rigor, with skill, with conviction and determination. Education is the practice of freedom and will free you from the devilish chains of the oppressor. You must embark on this path collectively as one, united, not two, divided. You must entirely lose yourself in your works, your endeavours, your activism, your education. Never underestimate your potential as the sublime thinking animal, and never underestimate the power of forgiveness in balancing the scales of justice with the oppressor. Dr. Martin Luther King talked about the importance of a people utilising their power to tackle the power imbalance of world criminal justice systems, to use this power to deconstruct and reconstruct criminal justice systems which oppress. This power is your pain. This power is your pain. The oppressor does not know your pain, can never know your pain, does not feel your pain, but it is in your pain that we are united. The killing of George Floyd has electrified and ignited our pain, and the pain of a 7-continent world of children who are hurting. So I am calling upon all new breed, youth-led social justice activists and movements across all red and blue states across the entire nation of America and the Americans. I'm calling upon all new breed, current generation, youth-led social justice activists and movements across the entirety of the continent of Asia, the United Kingdom, the Middle East, Ireland, Vladimir Putin's Russia, Africa, and the continent of Europe. I am calling upon children and young people across all 7 continents of the earth. My message to you is separate to live, unite to fight, rise, confront your pain and utilise your power. And may the killing of George Floyd be the trigger for a new breed 21st century youth-led civil rights movement, the scale of which this world has never seen before and will never see again. May your movement and momentum shape the corridors of power of all elected democratic and non-democratic world nation governments. And may your movement and momentum strike the fear of God into the hearts of the oppressor. May your movements be swift like the lightning, your dedication devastating as fire, your march calm like the forests, and like the mountain resting firm in the storm may your unity and presence of mind be impenetrable to the oppressor. A warrior's greatest weapon is his mind. Do not allow your mind to settle into static positions. Adapt to the landscape. Remain in constant motion. Be like the water, adapting its shape, smoothing boulders, never stopping, never the same. May your movements and momentum overwhelm your respective world, nation, governments with waves and waves and waves of your truth, your pain, your forgiveness, power, and your education in the name of justice, equality, and freedom. Your pain troubles me greatly, but you are blessed, for blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed is the man who has suffered, he has found life. I know suffering, my pain runs very deep. I have been to hell, I have been there many times. I confirm it suffocates you, drains the life from you, takes from you everything good about you. The air in hell is very thick. I've been to the mountaintop too. I'm standing on it right now. From my prison cell on 23-hour lockdown, detained indefinitely with no right to release, I confirm the air is very sweet. To my front, I can see 4 steel prison bars. I can see, just to my right, a tall, grey, dull, barbed wire fence. But I see far, far beyond this, because the view from the mountaintop is inward. The view from the mountaintop is a vastness beyond the senses, beyond consciousness, beyond mind, beyond the physical, and beyond the vision. The glorious view from the mountaintop is inward, and amongst this vastness, this pureness, this joy, this narrowness, this penetrating intelligence, this is where you will discover the keys to the kingdom. Your biggest barrier in overcoming the oppressor and reaching the kingdom is yourselves. I have discovered my toughest enemy, and he is I. If we do not overcome ourselves, our world is doomed. Luther King Jr. had a dream. It's okay to dream. Some come true, many do not. I know I may die the physical death young, I prophesy freely. But that is okay, because I have a vision. My vision is for this generation of the world's children, all the world's children, to realise a one world altruistic culture where the entire of this world species can realise an altruistic world, solar system and galaxy as one. This is how we uplift mankind as a species, all of mankind as a species, no matter their mistakes or separations. And this is how we honour the memory of George Floyd, Eric Garner, Rodney King, Mark Duggan, Stephen Lawrence, Zahid Mubarak, Khalif Browder, Charlie Noakes and Tommy Nichol. This is how we honour the memory of the 115 million African blacks killed in the slave trade and the hundreds of millions more slaughtered by the hand holding the sword of the bloodthirsty oppressor. And this is how we honour the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and all of the prophets that came before him in the name of justice, equality and freedom. So no matter your pain, your suffering, your hurt, as you march calm like the forest, walk tall in faith, with your head held high, hand in hand with the spirit of the universe, with confidence, with dignity, with grace and in peace. May your march, your peace, be the example to the oppressor, your neighbour, your world, your future, and know always that you are always, always loved. For God is one, and gods are two, are dual, are for and against, while God is one, is whole, no division, no either or, pure. God is ocean, forests, birds and tigers. God is mountain, the skies, the Jupiter moons and the raindrop. She dissolved herself in her own creation. God is world, God is creation, God is you. But the kingdom is within you, but without you. This